You probably picture Tasmania as a nice, peaceful place. After all, it's full of natural reserves and it's not too crowded. But according to some, the state's been at war for years over the issue of old-growth logging. So what exactly are they fighting about? And why are some politicians now saying the war is finally over? Here's Sarah.
Here in South Hobart, Miranda Gibson is enjoying some home comforts.
Just so much to adapt to having walls around me, a roof over my head, and there's some good things about that as well. It's been a lot drier and warmer.
Just a couple of months ago, her living arrangements were pretty different. This is where Miranda spent 457 days and nights on a small platform in a giant Tasmanian eucalypt.
Sometimes that feeling of isolation just built up, and I guess the frustrations of living on a tiny platform, and there were times when I was thinking, what am I doing?
Miranda broke the Australian record for living in a tree, but she didn't do it for adventure or for fame. For her, it was an act of protest against an issue that's divided Tasmanians for decades: old-growth logging. For as long as many of you have been alive, there have been protests over it. Some of them have been pretty extreme. In fact, the fighting over Tassie's forests has been described by many as an all-out war. And this is what they're fighting over. Tasmania has Australia's biggest areas of old-growth forest, which is forest that's been allowed to grow and evolve for many, many years without interference from humans. They contain some rare trees like myrtle and sassafras and the giant eucalypt regnan.
They jump and there she goes.
The timber industry has been part of Tasmania's economy for generations. Some of the trees were perfect for building furniture, houses and boats. And later, they started to be used for wood chips to make paper and other products. But over the years, it became clear that too much logging was hurting the forests. Now, more than half of the state-owned forests have been protected, but logging still goes on. When an area is cleared, it's allowed to regenerate, and the loggers say they're being responsible. But many conservationists disagree. They say the new growth is logged too quickly, and old-growth forest is irreplaceable. They say it's not just unique and spectacular, it's really important to the world as a habitat for animals and as a sponge for carbon in the atmosphere.
Forest out! Forest out!
There have been many protests, and the timber industry has blamed them for hurting sales and jobs. But now, after years of fighting, some reckon it's time for peace.
History has shown us that no conflict can go on forever. Every war must come to an end.
For 3 years, loggers and conservationists have been working together on a deal to help workers and protect forests. It was originally going to give protection to about 500,000 hectares of forest, but it got changed in Parliament. Now, some areas will be protected now, and others may be added later. Some conservationists say it's a good start, but others aren't happy. With an issue that people feel so passionately about, there's no easy solution. And only time will tell if this deal helps Tasmania become a more peaceful place.